on this. I have been told by reliable sources that decision is done and that the minority is slow walking the dissent, so that
Huh.
states can't and states do not have time to redistrict ahead of it. But I have been told very reliably that the minority is slow walking that
All
dissent.
right, wait, hold on a second, because I don't think I've read that anywhere. That is news.
It most certainly is news, and he most certainly was correct. The VRA has been struck down by the Supreme Court in a 6-3 decision. Obviously, all the Republican or conservative judges sided against it, and the liberals, of course, sided for it. It was split, right, between the liberals and the conservatives on the court. Now, I want to dive into this a little bit more because this is huge. This is absolutely huge, and it's coming at a terrible time for Democrats. Obviously, we got the midterms coming up, but there is some news coming out about the midterms that you guys are going to definitely want to see, because it could spell doom for the Democrat Party and a lot of celebrating for us. Make sure you hit that like button, and let's jump right on into this, shall we?
Good morning. Okay, so this at first blush here is a win for the plaintiffs who were not black plaintiffs. They were non-minority voters who challenged this decision. These two districts that were minority majority. Essentially, Louisiana had drawn up districts, and then they were told in a legal battle that they had not represented black and minority voters sufficiently. They went back and drew a second district. So they had two of these minority majority districts. Well, then non-black voters sued and said, this is now violating our rights on the basis of race. So it looks like this is a 6-3 decision. There is one concurrence here, but it looks like the dissent sticks together with Justices Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson. But here's what the majority says. They say in some, because the Voting Rights Act did not require Louisiana to create an additional majority-minority district, no compelling interest justified the state's use of race in creating SB 8. That was those two new districts. That map is an unconstitutional gerrymander, and its use would violate the plaintiff's constitutional rights. Now, this opinion is almost 100 pages long, so we're going through to see if it says something more broadly about the Voting Rights Act. That had been the fear on the left, that somehow this decision, if it was favorable for those challenging these maps, that it would somehow do a big chunk out of the Voting Rights Act. Haven't gotten to language that suggests that yet. It sounds like this decision is primarily about what happened in Louisiana, so we'll keep digging through this. But for right now, it's a win for those who were challenging these two minority-majority districts. Now, as we read through this and figure out the broader implications, there were 20-plus districts across the country that would have potentially lined up with this decision. They could be open to challenges that they were drawn on the basis of race, or that it was the primary factor that was used in drawing those districts. Most of those are throughout the South. So we'll look to see if there's enough sweeping language in this particular decision that may have a domino effect on some 20 other districts. Could be huge for the midterms. We'll continue to read through.
You got it.
Absolutely massive for the midterms. Absolutely massive. And as you guys saw there on the screen, I want to throw that back up there really quick.
Majority district.
Yeah, that could be the potential map that we're looking at. And you see here in Louisiana where there's a blue district that like streaks across the entire state. You know, stuff like that would be absolutely obsolete. Obsolete. After this decision, which, like I said, this is absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. Here's a better image of what we could be looking at here following that major decision. You see all this blue here over in Alabama and Georgia. And then you don't see it over here. You don't see it. Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, completely red. South Carolina, completely red. Completely red. Obviously, Georgia still has that dot there, that little cluster. North Carolina, there's a lot of blue taken out of North Carolina as well. Beautiful. And even Florida shrinks. And they already redistricted. So, yeah, man. Looking good. Looking pretty darn good for these midterms coming up. And that's not the only bad news for these Democrats, because like I've been saying before, and like a lot of folks have been saying before, they've got a census that's coming up that's not going to look good for them either.
The movement of people to places like Florida and Texas. I know your business is in Miami as well as New York. It looks like because of that demographic shift, GOP could pick up 7 seats and the Democrats could lose 7 seats in these blue states thanks to these policies. But they don't seem to be wise to that, or at least they don't care enough about it. They'd rather tax people out of some of these places. The movement of people to places.
Crazy. So they could be losing another 7, possibly, with that alone. This is just the census. Obviously, this isn't going to affect the midterms at all, but there's another 7 right there. A lot of folks have been talking about, you know, potentially 12 seats. We don't think the whole 20 will actually be changed, but a potential 12. Okay, so there's 12. Then you got the 7. Okay, there's 19 seats that could be going Republican. On top of the news we recently got about Virginia Supreme Court striking down their new redistricting plan, or siding with the lower court. The lower court put a pause on it. They stopped it. So they took it to the Supreme Court of Virginia. The Supreme Court of Virginia said, hey, we're siding with the lower court. All right. So for now, Virginia is not able to use their new redistricting map. So there's 4 seats for the Democrats back off the table. Okay. Florida's about to redistrict and gain another 4 seats. Texas already did. Theirs has already been approved. You got Louisiana, I believe that's about to add another seat, or Mississippi, I believe that's about to add another seat. Now with this VRA, there's another potential 12 other seats right there. I mean, just come on now. This stuff is flowing in, and for all the Democrats who are going to cry and complain, I don't want to hear anything because Democrats started this first. And I want to throw this up on the screen for any Democrats that want to cry and complain about it. Yeah. Look at this. 42% Republican, 0 seats. 46, 0 seats. 46% Republican, 0 seats. 48%, basically 50%. Half the state votes Republican.
Multimillionaire. Well, Ilhan.
Whoa. There's a clip playing. Don't want to do that. Sorry about that. 48% Republican, 0 seats. 42%, 0 seats. So you see this. 0 seats for Republicans in these states. So I don't want to hear any crying and complain. And this isn't all of them, right? You got states like Illinois that is clearly gerrymandered. Most of Illinois is completely blood red. Okay? And their map is just absolutely ridiculous. So I don't want to hear anything from these Democrats. Not a single peep. But you know what else? Recent news. Midterm shocker. GOP tied with Democrats in latest stunning House poll. This should not be happening, ladies and gentlemen. Midterms are always supposed to swing in the opposite direction. It's only happened 3 times in like the past 100 years. 3 times where it didn't swing in the opposite direction. 3. It's shaping up to look like this year maybe 4. Now, we of course have to get out and vote. We got to do our part. We can't sit at home, sitting on our hands. We got to make sure we get out and vote, of course, because all of this means a hill of beans if we don't actually go out and vote, right? But it is shaping up to look like a great midterm. Like I said, new poll. Republicans tied with Democrats. Yes, we're early. I get it. We still got some time. But that's bad for Democrats. The fact that we still have time, because you got a lot of stuff going on right now. Still got the Iran situation going on right now. All of that will more than likely be resolved before these midterms. And if we're tied, if there's even a single poll that has us tied, what will that look like come the midterms? When all of this stuff is resolved, gas prices are back down to record lows, what will the polls look like then? Exactly. It's going to look even better. So yeah, Democrats are in a world of trouble. Democrats are polls are showing people don't support or don't approve of the Democrat Party. Record low polling. And so that Republicans tied with Democrats in the House poll, Republicans leading in the Senate poll, the VRA being struck down, the 2030 census coming up. It's all looking bad for Democrats. Florida redistricting, Virginia's redistricting being at least put on pause for now, and hopefully that is completely stopped. It's looking great. It's looking great. All right? Let me know what your thoughts and your opinions about all of this. Stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.